Hi guys, and welcome to what I hope will be the first of many subscriber updates. These are pretty self-explanatory. These are just updates on what's going on with me, what's going on with the computer, and what's going on with the channel itself. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that subscribed. We hit 425 subscribers this week, which is absolutely fantastic, and we're on the road to hitting 1,000 subscribers in about July, August time, which is absolutely fantastic. So a big thank you for all the people that will just keep watching. Now the first bit of update news is that Samsung have agreed to send me a review unit of their new Galaxy S4 smartphone. It could well be the best smartphone out there, and the only way I'll be able to find out is when I get my hands on it, be able to do a full unboxing, full review, and obviously I will let you know how that goes and tell you whether you should be buying it or whether maybe you should be looking elsewhere. I will also get hold of an iPhone 5. I won't be able to do a full review on it because I'll be borrowing it off someone else, but I will be able to do a full comparison between Windows Phone, iPhone 5, and of course the new Samsung Galaxy S4, and I'll be able to analyse each mobile OS and tell you what their strengths and weaknesses are and tell you which one I would go for. But as you guys know, I'm quite firmly at the moment currently in the Windows Phone community. It may change, I might love the Galaxy S4, go out and get one for myself. Only time will tell, and I will be able to tell you guys when I get hold of it. Now the second bit of news is that I'm going to Gamescom this year. How it's going to work I can't tell you exactly now. Hopefully I'll have access to the press room and will be able to deliver you the videos nice and quickly as soon as they're filmed, but it's not necessarily guaranteed, so they may come a day or even a week late. Hopefully it will be on the same day, but I can't say for sure. But I'll be there for the full week, so I'll be bringing you plenty of videos while I'm there, and plenty of content and plenty of interviews. Well, that's why I'm going after all, and I'll be asking all the important questions. So if there's any question you actually want to know, why not let me know now? Leave it in the comments below and I'll look at them, and when I go and collate all the boring information I'm going to have to take with me, I'll hopefully be able to include some of your questions. I'm particularly looking forward to getting hold of some of the developers behind the new Command & Conquer game and just going to ask them why free to play, and loads of other questions and loads of other developers, and there'll be loads of stuff. So that's all good, and I'll be there bringing you all the good stuff. Yeah. I've also already got my press passes for Eurogamer, which isn't as big as Gamescom, but I'll be there nonetheless, and I'm sure there'll be some good stuff, some more interviews for me to do, and I'll be bringing you that nearer the time. Speaking of going away, I will be going to university this year. I'll be going to Portsmouth University to actually study computing. What that will mean for the channel? Hopefully not much. Hopefully I can spend just as much time as I do now on the channel, which is a fair amount. There's a lot of stuff obviously you don't see behind the scenes, but I will still be working as hard as I can on both my studies and on the channel. Hopefully the channel by then will be even bigger and will continue to grow. The plan is that I invest with my own money in all these products that I review and buy, and then as soon as the community is large enough, I'll start to get sent more stuff and won't have to buy it, and we'll be able to have more products to actually show you and go into. I'm not a massive fan of this whole kind of unboxing scenarios where people will be sent products. They'll open the box, show you what it looks like, show you what it does, and that's it. That's all you hear of it. And I don't want to sell out. This channel, I'm telling you now, will never just be about unboxings. Unboxings have their place. I am a fan of doing unboxings, but it doesn't tell you enough. It doesn't tell you enough about the product, and doesn't tell you, more importantly, whether you should be buying it. So this channel is never going to do that. We will have unboxings as we do now. The main thing is that I will always have the time to put into the products, and that means using them for 8 days straight, as I'm sure you know. Then I can actually tell you whether they're any good or whether they're not so good. You'll notice there hasn't been that many negatives in my 8 days with so far, but that's because I've done my research and the products I've bought and pretty much know if they're going to be any good, or I wouldn't be buying them. Now some exciting news over the summer is that there is going to be a cameraman. Hopefully forever. It won't always be the same cameraman. As I said, I'm going away, so I have to get someone else, but there will be a cameraman because I can't really move at the moment because the camera's there on a tripod. But the cameraman will debut very shortly. I'll be doing a mobile navigation review because I've been driving about recently and I've found that my Windows Phone is actually a really good sat-nav, and I want to show you guys that. I want to show you what its strengths are, what its weaknesses are, and I can't drive, use the sat-nav and film at the same time. Not only would that be bloody dangerous, but I don't really think that's doable. I don't challenge anyone to do that. So the cameraman should be debuting there. Hopefully he'll be alright. I'm going to train him up, but it's not the easiest job in the world, so if the quality isn't great at the start when it comes to focusing, I apologise, and it's not, well, it is my fault, but it wasn't me directly. Lastly, I have a question for you. Do you care about cameras? I'm going to do a look at DSLRs and whether you're going to want them, to be honest, whether you like it or not, I'm afraid. But if you do like them, if you do want to know more, then I can start looking at some lens reviews, because I've got a fair amount, and if you want to know, then I can do them, it's up to you. But if you don't want to know them, then I can find some other topics to do videos on. Video topics are becoming more and more focused, and you know, I've got to think about stuff that you're going to want to watch, and it ultimately does come down to what people are going to search for and all that keyword malarkey. But the main thing is that you're getting what you want, so you know, if you don't like something, leave me a comment, tell me why. If you have any questions for me, please leave me them in this video. The next subscriber update I do, whenever I feel I need to do one, I'll actually answer some of those questions. If they're important, then I will answer them before. But there are a couple of questions you've been leaving me that I'm going to answer right now. Now, the first question was sent to me in a private message, and I did answer it, but I thought you guys might want to know as well, because it is quite interesting. And the question was from the Bizzer, BSRZ, Bizzer, I don't know, sorry, but he wants to know about warranties when you're buying your parts, and that is very interesting, because if you buy a PC pre-made, you get a warranty on the whole thing. If you buy in parts, it can be more beneficial because some of the warranties are longer, especially things like graphics cards. Some people do lifetime warranties, but most of them are at least 2 years. They're not all. You have to check before you buy. That is something that you really should look at, because if you're buying a graphics card and the warranty is 1 year, or there's one that's £5 more expensive that's very similar, especially if they're reference cards but has a 2-year warranty, please go for the 2-year warranty, because it's so worth it. You have to register the warranty with the website, but that is going slightly off topic. But the main point is that if you're buying in parts, your warranties can be longer, but the whole disadvantage is that you don't necessarily know what's gone wrong. If your computer starts blue screening and you have no idea why, you keep trying to find out what's going wrong with no avail, then it can be difficult. But if you can find out what's wrong with it, you can just send it back, and the warranty is like any other, and in some cases it's even longer. Now, the second question was from William Jones, and it was asking about SSDs and what do you actually do with it. You've got an SSD, what do you actually do with it? Well, if you're buying a fresh computer, then you just stick it in, install the OS, you're pretty much good to go. Especially if it's Windows 8, it puts a lot of optimizations on it for you anyway. What I like to do, because it can affect the performance of your drive if you don't do this, is format the drive so that 10% of it is unallocated space. I have a 128GB Samsung SSD, so 12.8 gigabytes of that is unallocated space. This gives the SSD like sort of room to maneuver stuff around. It's kind of complicated, but if you format it as empty space, then you know that you're never actually going to use more than 90%, and it's always going to perform at its best. He also wants to know about the paging file. Now, the paging file, I've left mine on my SSD. You can move it across, but the point is, if you move your paging file across and something goes wrong with the hard drive, then you can end in a bit of disaster, and your paging file is going to be between 4 and 8 gigabytes depending on how much RAM you have. Mine is 4 gigabytes, and I've just left it on the SSD. I've still got 21 gigabytes of free space on it, so I'm not really that concerned. So unless your SSD is really jam-packed, I wouldn't worry about moving your paging file either. And the last question was from Azan Fishy, sorry if I haven't pronounced that quite right, and he raises a very valid point, and something that I did forget to mention actually in my 8 days with when it comes to the keyboards. And that is, if you hold down the function key, it locks it as the function. But it doesn't reset if you actually want to, say, turn the keyboard brightness down. If you press function and then F4, but you hold function down for too long, then it will stay function locked, which isn't actually that great. It's not a major deal at all. It's not a reason not to buy it, but it is a little bit annoying. If you don't understand what I mean, is that once the function key is locked, you have to then hold it down to unlock it, and that wastes time. And if you haven't necessarily realised it's locked, and you try and Alt F4, you change your keyboard brightness, and it's not a major deal, but it does do that. That's been it for the subscriber update. If you have any questions, either leave them in the comments below, or if you don't think it's necessarily going to help anyone else and it's a bit more individual, then either contact me on Twitter, it's @PCcentric. Do follow me on Twitter. Start to use it a lot more. I've got a good Twitter app actually for Windows Phone. While I'm here, they updated it recently. I'm quite impressed with it. Yeah, you know, pretty good little Twitter app. Not much to say there really. So I've been using Twitter more, so if you want to know some stuff, contact me on Twitter. That's probably the easiest way, or just leave a comment below or send me a private message, whatever you like, whatever you think, and I will see you next time.